Hi, welcome to another episode of the Code Coder. I am your Code Coder, here to make you great, help you innovate. We are on part 4 of Buildbox. We're going to actually add our own script. It's going to be great. Let's get going. Okay, so on my desktop, I have the first 3 videos in our Voodoo game progress. And so I'm going to go up into this area. And first thing I'll do is play the game to make sure you understand where we're at. And then we'll start coding it. All right, so there it is, just first 2 nodes, start 3D world. Haven't done too much with those yet as far as their properties. All right, so we haven't really talked too much about those. But we go into this 3D world, and if I go ahead and play it, this is what we have so far. I'll move this over so you can see. Hopefully I don't, well, already died. Okay, here we go. So you have a cube, which is our main character. You have hoops that you have to go through. If not, they become your enemy. If you hit the stripes, you die. On the outside, we have some smart assets that when you get near, they wake up and go ahead and execute their code. I'll show you when I crash, I have like a little animation that plays. Okay, pretty nice. But let's add some of our own custom script. I said that this is a great program because it's abstracted to the highest level, meaning even students that are not very good with computer science or coding can really get going and get a hyper casual game that's really neat. And then if your advanced students want to use it, they can really drill down into it. Okay, so let's go ahead and kill that. Okay, and yeah, I got to bring this up a little bit. Okay, self-situated here. Okay, a little bit more. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and add our own component. So I am going to go back into the main scene. Okay. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to actually go into this main character and click in here. And if I wanted to, I can control click on the keyboard and add another component, or I could go to this advanced and click script and bring my own script out. If I double click it, it'll open up a screen where I can code. Okay, but we don't want to do the main character. This main character is set. We want to create another character that comes in, and he's going to be of type cube. All right, so here's the cube. We're going to bring him into objects. Okay, here he is down here. I'll scroll out so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go ahead and, before I put him, instantiate him and put him out there, I'm going to go ahead and double click and come into his node area and go ahead and click on that script. Okay, so here we go. So if you notice, the script doesn't have the same things that these nodes have. It basically, you know, it's kind of blank. So the first thing we got to do when we click on it, we got to go on to edit mode, and we got to say we want some inputs. We want it to be connectable, and the name of it's going to be, let's say the name of it's going to be something like, well, let's just keep it as a script. Okay, and so that looks good. Now, in order for it to get the hooks or the little holes to connect it, you actually have to go out of it, and when you come back into it, it'll actually have the holes there. Okay, so that's just how you have to do it. A lot of people online and forum are trying to figure out how come the script is not connectable, and that's what you have to do. Okay, so we'll go ahead and click there, and then something else I want to talk to you about is, in order to script any component, you have to have 3 functions automatically in that component. Okay, so let's go into it first, and then I'm going to go into something called the Buildbox API. Here it is. All right, so it says component script, and there are these 3 functions right here. You have to have an initializer, an update function, and a signaler, or a signal, okay, function. So I'm going to copy those, go back into Buildbox, and go ahead and paste those in there like that. Okay, so it's color coded, you see in there. And if I want to go ahead and see if it runs, I could go ahead and put in something like this in the signal. Okay, so I'm going to go like log. It has its own console. Okay, and I could say this node was just created. Okay, and that's a string, so it has to have that. All right, now if I go ahead and run this now, there's the game, and I crash and die. But here's a console right here, okay? And so if I click that, you'll see that it says nothing. Okay, that didn't work very well. I don't know what happened there. All right, it should say this. Let's see. Let me see what I did wrong. Yeah, it looks good there. Okay, let's go edit mode. Script. It's connectable and editable. Okay, yeah, looks good. Okay, so let's go out like we did with the other thing, and let's run it from here and see if it now gets. No, it's not running. I don't know what might be the problem. Let's see if I can go ahead and. Oh, very interesting. Okay, so this we created this object, but we haven't instantiated it. So to instantiate it, it actually has to be on your scene. Okay, so now when I go ahead and run it, all right, there it is. It kind of went right through it, and you click here, and it said this node was just created. Okay, it's a nice little little troubleshoot for you. Okay, make sure it's on the scene. Okay, so there it is, and let's go back into that node, and let's talk about that script. All right, so now if I want to, I could go ahead and add some stuff to our update. Okay, and so this update runs 60 times every second. Okay, so it's going to be keep checking for things, keep checking for things. So if I could put something in there like, let's see, log enabled, and then I add a variable to detect if I'm if I'm enabled. So maybe I should add an attribute first. So I'm going to add an attribute, Boolean. Okay, and then I could go to edit mode. I could go into this guy, and I'm going to call him enabled. Right, it's good. Right, and let me go out of there and back into there and see if I now have that enabled function. Okay, so now I'm going to make a variable to kind of detect if that thing, it is a Boolean, so it's true or false. So I'll go ahead and make a variable that holds the enabled. And we'll say it equals false to start. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and see if underscore enabled is true. Okay. Okay, something like that. Okay, let's see if I can get that to run. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click out of this, go into here, hit play, and then go to my console, and you see it says false, 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 false. Okay, so it's not enabled yet. Okay, so if I go into here, let's see if I get it enabled. I actually have it enabled. Let me disconnect it. Okay, connect it up. Once it gets connected, then it becomes enabled. Oh, maybe I have to have it into that instead of the name. Interesting. Okay, let me go ahead and play that. Now if I click in here, it's still false. Okay, we're just saying every minute detect what enabled is. Okay, well, I think I know what's wrong. So if I'm in here and I'm saying enabled equals false, I got to go in here and actually say, let's go underscore enabled equals value. Okay, so that means so when it's connected, it's broadcasting, it'll say it'll be true, right? And let's play that and see what happens. Ah, true. Okay, there it is. All right, so you can see that it's very responsive and it is coming in. So basically it starts out as false, but this signal gets called automatically. And when it gets called, it sees if it's hooked up. And if it's hooked up, it's true. If I disconnect it, let's disconnect it and show you that that should now be false. And now I come in here and it's false again, okay? So the signal is detecting what attributes or what components are hooked up to it. Okay, I know that doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I'll clean that up later. Okay, so there you go. There's my script. Okay, all right. So now we're going to add some code to make it make our entity do something. Okay, so yeah. Okay. So I'm going to come over here and now in my update, I'm going to do something useful. Okay, and I'm going to say basically I have a entity, this dot entity. Okay, now this entity is going to be this object, this cube that I just put in. And this cube, remember, I'm in its node area and I'm writing script on it. So if I say this entity, I mean this entity, and every entity has a property or attribute called rotation. So I could say this entity dot rotation. Okay, and then when that's like a get rotation. I guess I would have probably programmed it get rotation like that. So it's a getter. They have a getter and setter, but they did not. So they just put rotation. And then once it gets it, we got to store it somewhere. So let's go ahead and create a let, and we'll just for shortcuts go rot, R-O-T. Okay, so now the rotation of this entity is in there. And so now I could go ahead and set the rotation if I want to. I could actually change it and go this entity. Let me zoom in on this so you guys can see what I'm coding here. Okay, entity dot, and now I'm going to use setter, set rotation. Okay, and I'll have rot.x, comma, we'll just change the y, rot.y, and let's just add 25 to it. 5, and then let's go rot.z by itself. Okay, there you go. All right, so something like that. All right, so now if I go ahead and run this, there you go. So now I have that block spinning. That's kind of neat, right? Okay, so it's spinning, it's changing its rotation on the y-axis only. Okay, pretty cool. All right, so you can see something like this in the game would be kind of neat. All right, so let's keep going and let's add some more functionality to this thing. All right. Now we're going to add an attribute to this component. Okay, and I don't know whether to call it component or entity, or I'm still getting used to the terminology, but this right here, okay, this component is going to have, we're going to add another attribute to it. Yeah, I like that. This is a component, this attribute, okay? All right, so I'm going to add an attribute. In fact, it says add attribute right here, right? And we'll put a 3D vector on it. All right, we'll go to edit mode. There's my new 3D vector. So you see it has X, Y, and the Z. And we're going to call this rotation speed. Okay, all right. So now we have a rotation speed. We can now write to it, okay? So let's go ahead and write a new variable up here. And let's say var rotation speed. Okay, using camel back there and an underscore. All right, and then let's go ahead and set the rotation. Let's go ahead and set that function in my initializer to that function coming in. Okay, so I'm going to say underscore rotation speed equals the new attribute that we just say. So we're going to say this dot, let's zoom in so you guys can see the code again. This attribute, okay, and then we put in here in single quotes, it could be double quotes or single quotes, rotation speed. Okay, so it'll now find that rotation speed settings, like right here, they're all 0, 0, 0. Okay, but we could change them later. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then, so now the rotation speed is kept in a variable called rotation speed. Very nice. Okay. All right. So now if I go ahead and change, let's say like the Y value again, I could put this on 10. And now this rotation speed has 10 in the Y. Okay. And now I could add that to our current. Instead of saying, let's say rotation X, let's add this, oops, plus underscore rotation. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this. Rotation speed dot X. Okay, so rotation speed has an X. All right, and then for the Y, we can now go, instead of plus 25, we could say underscore rotation speed dot Y. Okay, and that's now, since we have 10 here, it's going to add 10 every time. Okay, let's zoom in, add the Z, say plus underscore rotation, whoops, cancel that. Okay, and then here's Z. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. I'm going to say plus, oops, tend not to be over there. There you go. Plus underscore rotation speed dot Z. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm looking through that, and it says X, then Y, then Z, and you can see it's adding 0 to it if it's 0, which it is on the X and the Z, but the Y has a 10 in it, so it's adding 10 every time. Okay, so I think I could run that. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do the unthinkable and pin this rotation speed. All right, so let me see here. I'm going to click off of that, turn these off. So I see a pin on there, so let's not do that. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and run this and see if it's spinning 10 still. Oh yeah, it is. And you can see it's slowed down to 10. And then since I don't know if I have it pinned or not, let's go to 3D World and click on the cube. And I don't see it over here. I'd like to have it over here so I could change it from this side. Last time we used pin, it really kind of messed us up. But let's see if I could pin it. I want rotation speed to be, there it is. There's a pin. Okay, so I'm going to pin it. Come back over here and click on it, and it should show up. I'm going to save this just in case I'm starting to do some infinite type stuff. Yeah, I don't quite see it over there. Here, see. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so if I click on the instantiation, now I have it over here. So it's 10, you can see it's going kind of slow. So if I put 50, it should be going faster. All right, so there go that, and then yeah, you see it's really humming now. Okay, so pinning it changes the instantiation on it. And that might be my pin problem from a couple videos ago too, by the way. I was clicking over here, and maybe I should have clicked the instantiation of the object. Pretty awesome how you keep going on and you learn stuff backwards. Okay, so there it is. So there's my situation. So if I wanted to go ahead and let's say I'm going to keep this at 10, and then let's put the X at 5, all right? And then instead of having it a square, I'm going to go ahead and change it to this block like this. I'm going to make it a little skinnier. Okay, what if we change the color of it so it kind of fits in our world? We go like a yellowish bar spinning in front of you. Okay, so there it is. And I go like that. Wow, kind of creates a neat effect. Okay, so if I'm zooming out, and let's take this thing a little bit, I think it's still a little too big. Zoom in there. And I'm going to move it in between, like right here. Now play it. I'll save it first. And now I play it. Right, so I got something. It looks like it's deep down into the sand a little bit. Let's bring it up. Let's hover it over the top. Oh, yeah, that looks a little bit, kind of make it more like a gold bar. Let's put it up above where it kind of, you know, affects, you see the shadow there? Kind of affects your view of the character going through the hoops. So let me go there. All right, there you go. And now you see it kind of, you know, messes with your vision a little bit. Okay, so if you want, you can now take that entity and put it on some other ones. You grab it, put it in here. Okay, make it different. You know, what if you just have it so it's like a little bit of a barrier, or just a distraction in our game. Okay, just a distraction. So we'll just have it spinning right here. Okay, and then in the last scene, I'll have another one, and we'll right here, and let's go back to like a gold bar. There, and up above. Okay. Higher. All right, and now let's play it. I'm going to save it first. Then let's play it. All right, here we go. There's one bar spinning. You see it kind of distracts you. Here's another one. Okay, let's see if we get this one. Oh, there's this one in the way. Okay, and you could kind of make them hittable too. Like you got to dodge it. Okay, so like this one would be really hard to dodge. Come through. Okay, so you could play with those a little bit. And that is a complete Voodoo game. And now I guess from here, it is up to you to take that game and make it more challenging, make more levels, and just have a good time with it. So that's your Buildbox tutorial. Have fun with it. Use other templates. Be great. Help you innovate. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.